All right, I will call the Tuesday, September 10th, 2019 Community Redevelopment Agency meeting to order at 5:23 p.m. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Board Member Maldonado. Board Member Bailey.
Here.
Board Member Roth.
Here.
Vice Chairman Burgess.
Here.
Chairman Shelley.
Here. Do we have any additions, deletions, or deferrals? None. All right, no deletions or deferrals. I have a motion to approve the minutes. Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Any nays? Ayes carry. New business, tab 2. Who's doing the introduction?
Read the title and tab 2 is a resolution of the Board of the Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Homestead, Florida, approving the Community Redevelopment Agency budget for fiscal year 2019-2020 and directing the city manager or his designee to submit the budget to Miami-Dade County and the City Council for their respective approval, providing for an effective date.
Staff report.
Sir. Staff recommends that the CRA Board approve the attached resolution authorizing the Community Redevelopment Agency's annual budget for the 2019-2020 fiscal year beginning October 1, 2019 and ending September 30th, 2020. It is further recommended that the chairman and board members direct the city manager to submit said budget to the Homestead City Council for further approval. The proposed budget is a balanced budget and equals $3,711,604 in revenues and expenditures for fiscal year 2019-2020. And I do have a presentation.
Go ahead.
Okay, Chairman and board members, I have a brief presentation regarding the fiscal year 2019-2020 budget. As mentioned, this year's budget is just over $3.7 million. And the first program that I'd like to highlight that is in our budget is our housing rehabilitation program. This is a residential enhancement project where we will focus on improvement of different blocks or different neighborhoods within the CRA area, thereby increasing the value of the area and increasing the home value as well. The next program is our commercial enhancement program, and this is a program we have $150,000 budgeted. The amount is the same as it has been previous years. This year we are looking to target our improvement efforts. So we would look to the downtown historic area where we are currently focusing our revitalization efforts and do concentrated, targeted improvements within that area so that at the end of the day, when we are looking at how much bang we're getting for our money, we can actually put a figure on it. We can compare the values of the property before our rehabilitation and then the values after. And we believe by doing a focused, concentrated effort in that way that we will be able to not only see, but be able to quantify our efforts. Next up is the nonprofit grant program. We have $150,000 budgeted for grants to support our local social service agencies. This is the same amount that has been in the budget for the previous years, and the agencies that are listed there are those that are currently receiving funding. We recommend keeping this program as is for our next year. We've also included commercial incentive program. This program is designed to provide inducements to attract new businesses into the historic downtown area. So we are looking to address our vacant properties to get renters or owners in there, new businesses, and we think by offering some type of commercial incentives will help not only bring in new business, but also do job creation. Next up is $50,000 for a down payment assistance program. This program has a twofold purpose. It's to increase home ownership in the southwest section, but also we're being proactive, knowing that as we continue to grow in our efforts in the downtown area, the halo begins to expand out westward, that there may be a need for some families to relocate. They may desire to relocate because they don't want to stay in that area. This program will also be able to assist those individuals so that no one gets displaced. Next up is the community policing and the code enforcement. This is pretty standard in our budget, the same amount that we had last year, $267,293. That covers one police officer and one code compliance officer that provides services within the CRA. Then we have our neighborhood beautification. The CRA covers ground maintenance and the 2 inmate crews that keep our downtown looking beautiful, and as well as the other CRA areas within the CRA. We have $500,000 within the budget for cybrary construction. And then lastly, land acquisition and improvements. Land acquisition is in there for $250,000. This is to assist us as we move forward and with our development ideas and strategies. The Flagler Avenue cleanup lot, we have one lot that is contaminated that we want to do a development on that will need to be remediated. So we have money in the budget for that. And then blight removal, as you see the 2 houses there that are dilapidated, those need to be demolished and cleaned up, so that area will be cleaned up. And that's what the blight removal is for. And with that, that's the presentation, and I will entertain any questions or comments.
Any questions from council? Vice Mayor Burgess.
Thank you. To our CRA director or the manager, whomever, I know that we've reduced the number of officers and code compliance officers that we have in the budget from past years. You know, it's been at this number. Is there a plan in place to put that cost where it goes? Because that cost is, excuse me, nearly 10% of the budget. And while I know that it's a necessary thing to be for over in that area, do we have a plan in place to move those two remaining officers over into the budget where they should be and not in the CRA budget?
That is something that we will be looking at for next fiscal year, but at this point, we decided that we needed to keep it as is.
So there is a plan that's being talked about and at least being discussed?
There is discussions. There's no plan yet, but that is something that we know that we need to discuss.
That is a tremendous amount of money that is used every year. While it isn't a necessity, as I said, I don't believe it's properly used out of the CRA budget. So that's one of my concerns. And I know that we have this discussion every year, and you know, it's 11 years now that we've been talking about it, and we've still got people there. And I think it's a sad thing that there's still no way to move them over there and use that money for what it's really, really needed for, and that's to enhance the southwest side. And I'm not saying that they don't help. I'm just saying that I think that they should be moved into another category and out of the CRA budget. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah, and kind of echo the Vice Mayor's sentiment. I know I've raised this almost every year for the last 5 years, and we did go from 2 to now down to 1, so I know we're making progress. And I did ask the same question when we had our individual one-on-one meetings, and my understanding was, again, that although we've made great strides in our general fund budget, and that we have a balanced budget there and actually have some minor, small surplus, there wasn't enough to actually carry forward monies from that into the CRA to cover this. But I share the Vice Mayor's sentiment in that I don't necessarily believe the police officer code enforcement out of the CRA budget is the best use of those funds as far as revitalization of the community and other projects that we maybe could put those $273,000 or so dollars into. So I do echo that and reinforce that again this year, that I want to see us continue to work toward maybe next year getting those out of this budget and into the general fund budget so that we can free up some dollars here. And then on that same note, I asked the same question, but I just want to bring it up for my colleague's sake, and that is our CRA sunsets in a few years, correct? What's the sunset?
4 years.
In 4 years. So
Yes.
4 years from now, our CRA will, unless we can find a way to extend it or unless we follow the process or procedure to extend the time frame, will sunset. And so as part of that discussion moving forward, it is the best use of the monies that we're utilizing split up into all of these different programs, because over a period of, say, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, all of these programs in their smaller capacity add up over time and would make a big difference in the CRA communities. But in this case, we have 4 years left. And so the question is, would we be better off putting together these dollars into one big project or 2 projects or some other combination so that in the event that 4 years from now we no longer have a CRA, we will have been able to have accomplished something bigger versus having something that's really a 10-year plan, but we only got 4 years to accomplish it. So again, I just wanted to kind of put that on the table for my colleagues to consider as we start putting together the next 3 years' budgets after this one. Does that make more sense, or do we continue doing what we've been doing as far as utilization of the funds? So it's really just comments more so than questions. Any other questions or comments from council? Councilwoman Faircloth.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'm not sure that I was hearing you spoke about the down payment assistance. I think I came at the tail end of that. But I really like that concept because it makes home ownership more accessible to those who may have difficulties with the down payment assistance. Did you talk in depth about why this is important and why this was added? Because I know when we had our meeting, you were very specific about why this was critical to be included into the budget. Did you express that here?
I can go into it a little bit further.
Please.
Yes. As we are growing, what we're seeing is the vision that you all had when you started the revitalization efforts, that we're going to have a halo, and we're going to start to see growth in the west side of our area. And that's a good thing, and we're pleased that it's happening. The one concern that we wanted to be proactive on was gentrification. We want to ensure that we are not gentrifying the area, where we're not displacing individuals, putting them out where they have no place to go. So CRA staff has been diligent in looking at ways that we can address this proactively. And this down payment assistance is just one way that we can do that. So if we have an individual that needs to move into another area within the city, then this program could assist them. So that's one piece to this, and that's where the thought behind this came. The second piece is the home ownership. So those individuals that need to move but would like to buy a home, this program could assist them with down payment, and they can use this coupled with other resources. So the county has a down payment assistance program, and there are a couple of other in the state and the federal. They can couple this and get them a really comfortable home that they can maintain and stay in. So
I'm
that's
glad
the
you referenced gentrification. I wanted you to reference that because we're seeing that a lot in Miami-Dade County. And I did not want Homestead to be a part of those municipalities that are experiencing gentrification. So thank you very much for mentioning that. Also with the land acquisition, did you, because I had asked that we have a list of properties that we wanted to acquire, were you able to obtain that?
We do have a list of properties. I don't have it with me. I could be more than happy to share that with you all if you like, but we do have a list of properties that are within the area that is going to be the next developed site. So we do have that, and I can provide that to you if you like. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Seeing no additional comments or questions from council, this is a public hearing. I'll open it for the public. Anybody that'd like to come up and speak on the CRA budget, please come up to the podium and state your name and address for the record. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Do I have any additional comments or questions from council?
Oh.
Seeing none, Councilwoman Faircloth.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to mention something else. Thank you for adding the library to the CRA budget. As you know, I'm a huge fan of the library project and the type of amenity that it brings to our community, particularly our students. So I'm excited to see that in there. And I just wanted to thank you for your proactiveness and your forward thinking and the role you're playing in the CRA department. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Do I have a motion to approve the budget? Move it. Moved and seconded. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Board Member Bailey? Yes. Board Member Maldonado? Yes. Board Member Roth?
Yes.
Board Member Faircloth? Vice Chairman Burgess?
Yes.
Chairman Shelley?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Do I have any reports from council? Seeing none, do I need to open up for generalized public comment? No?
Historically, we haven't, but if you want to, you can, but you're not under the obligation to.
Okay. No, I didn't know. Okay. It's just here on my calendar, so I don't want to. Councilwoman Faircloth, you did have something else? Go ahead, Councilwoman Faircloth.
Yes, As a part of the CRA, the Dibia Dream Foundation was a recipient of one of the not-for-profit grants. The Dibia Dream Foundation is a foundation that is providing STEM opportunities for our students in the community, and this is an initiative that the Education Committee and I are working towards all schools becoming STEM certified schools. So I just wanted to mention that September 28th is another STEM opportunity, STEM Saturday, in the city of Homestead. So if there are any children out here, I see a captive audience and a perfect opportunity to announce that there will be another STEM Saturday on September 28th from 9 to 12. If you have any school-age children, please bring them so that we can engage them in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Move it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes carry. Give us 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and start the first public budget hearing meeting.